For years, you've been told the secret to creating your reality is to think positive, to visualize your desires, to script your future into existence. You've followed the advice. You've created vision boards, recited affirmations, and spent hours imagining a life of abundance, love, and health. And yet, for so many of you, that desired reality remains just out of reach, a frustratingly persistent dream. You start to wonder, what am I doing wrong? Is this all just wishful thinking? The truth is, you haven't been given the full picture. The popular teachings on manifestation are fundamentally incomplete. They teach you how to formulate an intention, how to ask the universe for what you want, but they leave out the most critical, most powerful step in the entire creative process. They show you how to aim the arrow, but not how to release it. This missing step is the mechanism that turns the infinite potential of the quantum field into the tangible, physical experience of your life. This step is called the collapse. In quantum physics, the observer effect reveals a stunning truth about the nature of reality. Before observation, a particle like an electron doesn't exist in one specific place. It exists as a wave of pure potential, a superposition of all its possible locations at once. It is everywhere and nowhere. But the moment an observer looks, the moment consciousness focuses its attention, that wave of potential collapses into a single, definite particle in a specific location. The act of observation turns possibility into actuality. Your life operates under the exact same principle. Your desires for more money, for a soulmate, for a healthy body, already exist as waves of potential in the quantum field. Every possible reality you can imagine is available to you right now as a probabilistic frequency. The problem isn't that your desires don't exist. The problem is that you are constantly and unconsciously collapsing a reality that doesn't include them. You are the observer of your life, and your observation is perpetually forcing the wave of potential to collapse into the familiar reality you already know. The key, then, is not to wish harder or visualize more intensely. The key is to understand what directs the collapse. It's not your fleeting thoughts or your 5-minute-a-day visualization practice. The collapse is directed by your dominant, embodied state of being. It's the sum total of your identity, your core beliefs, your emotional home, and the baseline frequency of your nervous system. You do not manifest what you want, you manifest who you are. Every second of every day you are broadcasting an electromagnetic signature into the field, and the field is arranging reality to perfectly match that signal. If your dominant state is one of lack, anxiety, and frustration, the field has no choice but to collapse a reality that gives you more things to feel lacking, anxious, and frustrated about. Your life is a perfect mirror of your internal state. The great misunderstanding is that you need to do something to collapse reality. The truth is, you are already doing it. You are a master manifester, a professional reality collapser. You've just been doing it on autopilot, by default, collapsing the same reality over and over again because you've been living in the same state of being over and over again. The challenge isn't to start manifesting. The challenge is to stop unconsciously manifesting the reality you don't want, and to start deliberately and consciously collapsing the one you do. This entire process is governed by a force you might call the subconscious mind. Neuroscience has shown that 95% of your thoughts, behaviors, and emotional reactions are driven by this powerful, hidden operating system. Your subconscious mind is a record of the past. It's a collection of every experience you've ever had, every emotion you've ever felt, and every belief you've ever formed. Its primary job is not to make you happy. Its job is to keep you safe by making your future predictable, a perfect reflection of your past. So when you sit down to meditate and visualize wealth, but for the last 30 years your body has been conditioned into the feeling of not having enough, what signal do you think is stronger? Your conscious mind, which uses only 5% of your brain's power, might be focused on abundance for 10 minutes. But for the other 23 hours and 50 minutes, your subconscious mind is running programs of lack. Your body, which has memorized the chemical signature of worry, is broadcasting a powerful frequency of scarcity into the field. You have a thought of wealth and a feeling of lack. This is a state of incoherence, and it sends a chaotic, mixed signal to the quantum field. And a mixed signal can only ever create a mixed result. You can't plant a seed for an apple tree and expect to get an orange. You cannot embody a frequency of lack and expect to collapse a reality of abundance. It defies the law. This is why you must move beyond just thinking and into being. You have to recondition your body to a new mind. You must shift your identity at the most fundamental level. The secret is not to chase a future reality, but to begin living in that future reality now, from the inside out. You must assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, as the great spiritual teacher Neville Goddard instructed. This is not about pretending. This is about using your inner technology to generate the emotional and physiological state of your desire. Before you have any physical evidence for it, the first step in this process is to become a master of your internal state. And this begins with your body. You can use your imagination as a powerful rehearsal tool. When you close your eyes and vividly imagine an experience from a first-person perspective, feeling the emotions, hearing the sounds, touching the objects, your brain doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's imagined. It begins to fire and wire new neural networks as if the event has already happened. When you consistently generate the elevated emotion of your future, the gratitude for the wealth, the joy of the relationship, the freedom of perfect health, your body begins to produce the corresponding chemistry. You are literally teaching your body what your future feels like. This process, repeated with intention, begins to install new neurological hardware. You are building the neural architecture of your new identity. To hold this new state, you must also learn to regulate your nervous system. Most people live in a state of chronic, low-grade stress, governed by the sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight response. This is a state of survival, not a state of creation. In survival, all your energy and attention are focused on the external world, on predicting danger and protecting yourself. You can't create a new future when all your resources are being used to survive the present moment. The antidote is to consciously activate your parasympathetic nervous system, the state of rest and digest. The simplest and most powerful way to do this is through coherent breathing. By slowing your breath down to a rhythm of about 6 seconds in and 6 seconds out, you send a signal of safety directly to your brainstem. Your heart rate variability increases, creating a state of biological coherence. In this calm, centered state, you are no longer a victim of your environment. You become its creator. A regulated nervous system is the platform from which you can launch a new reality. The ultimate mechanism for directing the collapse is coherence. Coherence is a state of perfect alignment, where your thoughts are aligned with your feelings, your heart is aligned with your brain, and your entire being is broadcasting a single, stable, powerful electromagnetic signal into the quantum field. Incoherence is when you want one thing, but feel another. You think about health, but your body is full of the stress hormones of fear. You visualize success, but your heart is beating with the anxiety of potential failure. This fragmented signal creates a fragmented reality. Coherence is when you have a clear intention, a focused thought of what you want, and you marry it with an elevated emotion, such as gratitude, joy, or love. When your brain and heart are in sync, you produce a measurable electromagnetic field that can extend far beyond your body. This coherent field is what interacts with the quantum field of information. It acts like a tuning fork. By holding a coherent signal of abundance, you begin to resonate with the potential for abundance that already exists in the field. The laws of physics dictate that the field must respond. It is not magic, it is science. It is the principle of resonance. When your internal coherence is sustained long enough, it becomes more powerful than the incoherence of the outside world. At that point, the collapse is inevitable. The wave of potential must collapse into the reality that perfectly matches your signal. This is what ancient spiritual traditions have been telling us for millennia. When the Bible says, "Therefore I tell you, Whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it and it will be yours. It is not speaking of a simple mental belief. It is describing an embodied, coherent state of being. To believe you have received it is to shift your entire identity into the person who already has what you desire. It is to feel the gratitude, the peace, and the knowing so completely that your body is chemically and neurologically changed. Faith is not a hope for the future. It is the embodied acceptance of a reality in the eternal now. So how do you integrate this into your daily life and move from a state of occasionally practicing these techniques to permanently living as the collapse of your desired reality? You must make your internal state more real than your external world. One of the most potent times to do this is in the moments just before you fall asleep. As you drift from the active beta brainwave state into the slower alpha and then theta states, the door to your subconscious mind opens. This is your moment to program your new reality. Lie in bed and, instead of replaying the worries of the day, consciously and deliberately feel the emotions of your wish fulfilled. Feel the sheets on your skin as the person who is wealthy, loved, and free. Fall asleep marinating in the feeling state of your future. You are impressing this new identity onto your operating system, and your subconscious will work all night to find ways to make it your reality. Then, you must reinforce this new identity with your actions. This is where micro-habits become essential. Your identity is not just what you think, it's what you do. If you wish to collapse the reality of being a fit and healthy person, your micro-habit might be to drink a glass of water first thing in the morning with the intention of nourishing your body. If you wish to be a successful writer, your micro-habit is to write 1 sentence a day. These actions seem small, but they are incredibly powerful. Each one is a declaration to the universe and to your subconscious mind that says, "This is who I am now." You are providing evidence to support your new identity, making it more and more your default state of being. I want you to pause and decide on one micro-habit you can commit to for the next 24 hours. A tiny action that aligns with the person you are becoming. Share it in the comments below, not for me, but as a declaration for yourself. As you begin this process, you will inevitably face challenges. The biggest one is the time lag. You begin to embody a new state, but your outer world still looks the same. This is the echo of your past reality. Your current circumstances are a fossilized record of your former state of being. The temptation is to look at your bank account or your relationship status as evidence that this isn't working. This is the critical moment. When you see the old reality, you have a choice. You can react to it, which means you return to the old emotional state, broadcast the old signal, and collapse more of the same. Or you can see it for what it is, a fading echo, and consciously choose to return to the feeling of your future. Doubt and fear will arise. They are the death throes of the old identity. The ego, your sense of self built on past experiences, will fight to keep you in the familiar territory of what you know. When doubt surfaces, do not fight it or suppress it. Acknowledge it. Thank your mind for trying to protect you. And then, deliberately bring your attention back to your breath. Use coherent breathing to calm your nervous system and recenter yourself in the feeling of your wish fulfilled. You must become more committed to the feeling of your future than you are to the feelings of your past. Your ability to sustain this new state, in spite of what your senses are telling you, is the ultimate measure of your creative power. This is where the practice of gratitude becomes your superpower. Gratitude is the ultimate state of receivership. When you are grateful for something, you are signaling that you already have it. Feeling genuine gratitude for your future before it happens is the most powerful, coherent signal you can send. It collapses time and space. It tells the quantum field that your desired reality is no longer a future potential. It is a present-day fact. And this is not just a spiritual idea. It is a biological one. The science of epigenetics shows that your sustained emotional states, your state of being, act as signals that can activate or deactivate certain genes. By consistently living in elevated states like gratitude and joy, you are literally signaling your body to rebuild itself, creating a physical vessel that is a match for your new reality. You are not a victim of your genetic destiny. You are its architect. Let's bring this all together. You are not trying to manifest something. You are in a constant state of manifestation. You are an antenna, continuously broadcasting a frequency into the quantum field, and the field is continuously arranging matter to match your signal. The creation is already finished. Every potential is available. The only work you have to do is to tune your antenna, your state of being, to the frequency of the reality you wish to experience. Stop looking outside of yourself for the answers. The power is, and always has been, within you. It is not about adding something to yourself. It is about awakening to who you already are. You are a creator, directing the collapse of reality with every breath, every feeling, and every assumption you hold about yourself. The journey is to move from being an unconscious creator, collapsing a reality by default based on the programs of the past, to becoming a conscious creator, deliberately collapsing a reality by design based on a vision of your future. So the question is not whether you can create your reality. The only question is, what reality will you choose to create today? Shift your focus from what you want to who you are becoming. Inhabit your future so completely that it has no choice but to manifest around you. Don't just practice this for a few minutes a day. Live as the collapse. Embody the identity. And watch as the world rearranges itself to reflect the truth of who you have decided to be. If this message resonated with you, subscribe and join this community of creators. And remember to share your micro habit in the comments. Your journey to mastery begins now.